Andy Katz here for NCAA.com and March Madness. Pleased to be joined by Houston head coach Kelvin Sampson. Kelvin, you guys are off to a historic start at Houston. Ever since that loss and the manner in which you guys lost to Michigan, what has transpired in this group that they seem like their confidence is at an all-time high?
Well, I don't think it's the Michigan loss hurt. There's no question. There's a difference in crying and wailing. I mean, there was two different dog piles after that game. One of euphoria with Michigan, and then our kids were in the shower, just showering with love for Devin because of the free throws, and they were crying and wailing. And I learned so much from Tony Bennett. After that, I wish I had been smart enough to be able to say the right things. And Tony said something that really stayed with me, resonated with me, was that you've got to have a team you don't mind losing with. And when I look back on that team, I had so much love for that team. There's so much love within that team. I think that really fits. But going into this year, I think that the leadership of our three seniors, Breon, Galen especially, and Corey, those three guys, they've been through all the wars. They've seen just about everything. Armani, you can put there, those four guys. I think they there was a moxie about them in June when the other kids got here. Dejan Giroux, Bryson Gresham, Seth Alley, who had redshirted, and then the true freshman Nate Hinton. They kind of bought into our vibe, if you will. I had no idea we'd be this good. No idea our record would be this. I thought we'd be a good team eventually, but this is surprising. But I don't think we've let it alter us. People around us have changed. We've gotten a lot more interviews, and we get a lot more questions asked, a lot more attention. But I think inside the bubble, we do what we do. Practice hasn't changed. Our narrative hasn't changed. We work, and we understand what our culture is, and it's important to play to that every day and every night.
So you've been around a long time, and I was thinking back that if you had a one-loss team this late in February at Indiana or Oklahoma, you guys would have, maybe a number one ranking, number two. You're obviously in the top 10, high in the top 16. As a lock is pretty much number three. But it would feel like there'd be even more national attention. How do you assess sort of the difference in your past stops versus this one with the kind of record and team that you have right now? Because it feels like you're still flying under the radar.
Well, I've had teams that were ranked number one. I've had teams that 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 4 seeds. There's teams below us that are probably a little better than us, and there's teams above us that we might can beat. So the rankings are what they are. I think it's for fans and the radio talk show host and the social media people to debate and talk about. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to sound oblivious to it, but it doesn't really matter to me. I'd like to get as high a seed as we can, like any other coach. But I think in some way it's good. We're flying under the radar. I don't mind that. We're number 9 in the poll this week. We should be 14. Should be 7. I don't know. The point is that to me it doesn't matter.
Your backcourt of Robinson and Davis and Brooks, they can play with anybody in the country. How much comfort do you have when they're on the floor, all three together, certainly in a late game situation? It maybe even go back to like that comeback against LSU.
Well, Galen's the heart and soul of our team. He's not our most talented guy. The most talented guy on this team is probably Dejan or Corey right now. But the thing that makes those three guys such good players, Andy, is having Dejan Giroux and Nate Hinton behind him. We're deep at that position. But this is my 4th year having Galen as the point guard, 3rd year with Armani, 2nd year with Corey. Having played 35 games last year, I have an idea what they're going to do. And the thing they're going to do, they're going to miss shots. They're going to turn it over occasionally, may make a bad decision here and there, but they're always going to compete, always going to play hard. And sometimes you can outwork your mistake. Sometimes you can outwork your confusion. And I think it's important to get kids to understand that, is that mistakes are going to be made, but it can't be because of lack of effort.
You have built a program, not just a team. When you arrived at Houston, new arena now, or refurbished arena, In what way did you think what you're accomplishing now was possible?
Well, I might have been the only one that saw it because the apathy from the top down was not good. It was nobody cared. Nobody went to the games. Facilities were decrepit, outdated. It was amazing to me that in 2014, Houston didn't have a practice facility. So the AD that hired me was Mack Rhodes, and I thought Mack was great. He really was. Contractually, my contract was built around construction dates and my buyout. So certain things had to be done because that was the only way it was going to work. Them saying we're going to build one wasn't good enough. We had to have proof. We had to have action. It's like somebody saying we're a pretty good team, and then you get on the floor and you're not. Well, actions speak louder than words. But once I saw the construction fence go up, and then I called and asked about this. I stayed on them about certain things, but Mack was tremendous. Hunter Yurachek was tremendous. Those guys are gone, but they're not forgotten by me. Other people may have issues with them on this or that, but they were studs as far as moving this program forward. The thing that they agreed to do, and that contractually we held them to it, was build not just a practice facility, a Taj Mahal. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. And then the second stage was renovating the arena, and the key there was Tillman Fertitta. When he stepped forward and made a commitment to, he was the chairman of our Board of Regents. And usually on the Board of Regents, your last year you want to leave your mark, and he did. It went from Huffines Pavilion to the Fertitta Center, and there'll be a generation of kids growing up that's never heard of anything but the Fertitta Center, and it's because of Tillman. But he's the one that got us over the hump with that new building.
Lastly, Kelvin, I don't want to get too far ahead, but if you're fortunate to get to that second round again, and if you were able to win that, what do you think it would mean to get past what occurred a year ago?
I think it would mean a lot to our fans. Basketball, you don't play that. We're in a bubble as far as focus and understanding what we have to do to win, the coaching aspect of it, the playing aspect of it. But, you play for something bigger than you. The University of Houston is a great brand. We have a great president in Renaud Couture. Our administration is like our program. It's growing and building. When I got there, they had just a year removed from being Conference USA. In a lot of ways, they were still Conference USA. And so what we've done is bring them into the Power 5 mentality. But we're getting there. But our fans have really attached to this team. Houston's a big city, but at the University of Houston, we're really a community. We're not part of the big city vibe. We have our own niche over there. The Rockets and the Astros and the Texans have their deal, but we have our deal too, and we've got some loyal fans. I'll be happy for them. I'll be excited for them. I'll be excited for the former players. I'll be excited for Guy V. Lewis's family. This program is way bigger than any of us, and you do things for something bigger than you, and that was our message this month. Our message this month was being givers and not takers. So anything that we accomplish, we're going to give to our fans.
Thanks, Kelvin.
Okay, thank you, Andy.